There is hope for Warcraft 3 Reforged. I can't believe I'm saying this, but this is what happens whenever passionate fans decide that they are going to do free development work for a massive multinational corporation. And I bring it up in those terms not to throw a dig at this team. This team's so awesome.
Absolutely.
But it is just the sorry state of affairs that people who like these franchises, who like these IPs, have got to go to such lengths. Literally selling copies of this piece of shit Warcraft 3 Reforged. So that, because they're fixing it and making it good. Mm-hmm. What an absolutely bonkers situation that we're in. It is utterly damning on Blizzard Entertainment and how Blizzard managed this project. But for those of us who absolutely love Warcraft 3, which, that's you and me.
Absolutely.
This is incredible news from an incredible team of dedicated fans who are doing something really incredible, which is Warcraft Re-Reforged, in this case, the Scourge of Lordaeron. And there's another project, too, that is basically doing Warcraft 2.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Within Warcraft 3 Reforged. Mm-hmm. I got beta access to that, and I said, hey guys, I'll make a video on it. I never got around to it. Sorry, I really want to dive into both of your projects a lot. So Warcraft 3 Reforged. Blizzard, at the time it all went south, and now it's their intention to fix the game and bring a lot of the content that inexplicably removed despite their own marketing promises, blah, blah, blah. But guess what? The whole thing fell over and was dead. The last patch and official announcement was April 2021, and they've basically just pieced out of the whole thing.
Yeah.
Maybe, given that they cared about Age of Empires and made it right, maybe Microsoft will take a second look at this. Who knows? But...
yeah.
even Warcraft 3, that is up there with Age of Empires. That is no small brand. But we have got to be very thankful for the modding community. As fans once again have risen up. So currently live in Hive Workshop, Warcraft 3 Reforged is a mod which, according to the game's single developer, actually I forgot that bit.
Yep, insane.
That's mad.
Yeah, Insane Monsters is a very fitting name.
So what's Mr. Insane Monster done? Well, actually remastered in-game cinematics with angles, interface, and style matching closely what was there at BlizzCon 2018. Reimagined maps and missions with beautiful, easy-to-navigate terrain, modernized gameplay, redesigned quests, and more meaningful events, often influencing following maps in an interesting way. Mm-hmm. That's beyond what you would have expected from Warcraft 3 Reforged, even if it went well. That latter bit, tying the maps together, that's one of the things maybe if you really like StarCraft, you'd kind of like, the sort of RPG layer they put atop the RTS. Yeah. I'm not saying he's doing that, but that's neat. That's neat. Detailed and expanded lore with fleshed out characters, old and new, meaningful interactions, and many references from World of Warcraft.
Which is exactly what they had promised initially and then quietly unpromised.
Yeah. Rebalanced difficulty levels to make the experience tailored and gameplay engaging to each player, with completely new AI scripts designed to give opponents a distinguishable personality. Also, multi-language support, including some voice acting for additional dialogues, and all graphics mods are compatible. Also, new lore-accurate secrets, and much, much more, only waiting for you to play. Right now, 2 episodes are live. Exodus of the Horde, which is the prologue campaign for them, and Scourge of Lordaeron Act 1.
Yeah, which is just up until, I think it's up until the culling of Stratum.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if the culling's included, but if it is, that'll be very interesting to actually see. It's just...
So I'm just going to play some of this here, for people to get, because it is, obviously this is an RTS, with RTS models doing the acting.
Yeah.
But you take that, and then kind of think, well, shit, they've actually... He's pushed it just like how Blizzard did.
Yeah,
he's actually really done a great job.
Yeah, and for what it's worth, this isn't some heavy mod. This is actually all custom campaigns. So if you have Warcraft 3 Reforged, you just get the campaign and play it. That's it.
Yeah,
it's all possible within engine with the tools that they actually created back in the day. Because I know they upgraded some of the world editor stuff for Reforged, but to what I understand, not substantially. So it's all just, this is all what was possible, and this dude's doing it instead.
Yeah, you can just open up the editor and make Warcraft 3 in Warcraft 3. You can just do your own version, and he's done that. And this is just incredible. And I think, too, the reimagined maps and missions, that's where I'd be fascinated, because there's a lot of games that, they do show their age a little bit. And if you were to compare War 3 to, say, StarCraft 2, you can definitely see that there had been an advancement. So I'm fascinated to see how these play. And just, look at this level of quality. This is so much above what Blizzard was able to do. And what is such a mind blow is just, free from the budgetary issues, free from the project management and the bosses and the layers and the layers and the layers. And of course also then, free from actually having to engineer the damn thing.
Yeah.
This person's been able to do this. And I think that just shows how screwed this project was. From what I understand, they basically did a bit of a vertical slice. They re-recorded loads of dialogue. They seem to have scoped out a large project, but then maybe midway through production, something like that, all the scope changes. And it's odd. It's as if they did most of the work at a fundamental level to set themselves up, but just that last bit where the game itself really comes into fruition, it all fell over, and they just had to shit out what they did.
Yep.
Now, of course, there was also the Scourge of Lordaeron. Once more, a very, very iconic campaign. And, just... This feels so much more premium than what Blizzard did.
Yeah, one of the things that I think is most interesting about this is that I haven't gotten to play it yet, but I'm so interested in, two specific parts. I'm not a very, very good RTS player, but the difficulty is tuned up a little bit. But there are options available. So hard is way harder than RTS, the original game's hard. But also, it seems like the actual redesign and the reimagining of the maps and the missions goes so far beyond what, especially the early campaign missions for these games are. Because obviously, if you've done the Exodus of the Horde is always just pure tutorialized. There's not really a whole pilot gameplay in it. And then when you get to the Scourge of Lordaeron, it is not until chapter 6 or 7 you're starting to okay, here's the difficulty, here's all the mechanics put together.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if this is what it looks to be based on watching footage and stuff, is this actually this, almost what fans of Warcraft 3 would rather play in terms of Reforged as opposed to the same game again?
Yes.
It seems to be an improvement as opposed to the same repackaging.
Yeah, it's not just, hey, we're going to repackage the game and we have outsourced all the art assets, but also our art direction is now inexplicably so much worse, and they all look like Raid Shadow Legends characters. So the one criticism that I do have of War 3 Reforged is basically just art direction. I do feel that the original chunkiness has been lost. It doesn't feel mega Warcraft 3 to me, even though it's the sights and the sounds and the characters. There's just, and I remember we talked about this back when it happened. So that bit obviously cannot be overcame, and that's totally on Blizzard, and maybe is just a symptom of how scuffed of a project that it actually was. But here you're playing something effectively new. It's a new gameplay experience. And in terms of the level of fun, if these missions are being updated, so it's this simultaneous thing of it's more accessible and more playable, but also harder.
Yeah.
That obviously I think is going to equal more fun. So this is incredible. And right now, these 2 packs are there. They have 10 in-game chapters, 5 Horde, 5 human. Certainly, it would be a monumental amount of work to do all of War 3 and Frozen Throne. Who knows what the full intent here is?
Yeah. Well, Insane Monster actually says that he has. This is from the Patreon page. I have the goal to re-reforge Warcraft 3 Reforged with a series of custom campaigns covering as much as possible of the game, starting from the prologue and going in order. But they do take months to be ready.
Yeah.
And he says later on that it is contingent on support. So the more the Patreon support and stuff happens, the more he'll be able to actually devote time to work on them.
And this is an interesting thing. There is one thing he could do to get his project killed. That would be any form of a script being different, or voice acting being different. I don't know if you'll see this, but we actually did a World of Warcraft mod project, and we'd reached out to a few Blizzardy people, and people were like, it doesn't seem like much of a problem, happy enough. A few of the devs even thought it was pretty cool, which was nice. It was called WoW Tales, and basically what we did is we, along with the developer of Console Port, basically created loads of custom triggers so that we could fire off dialogue. So basically, we just rebuilt our own version of the quests on top of the actual quests in game. So all the objectives and stuff are the same, but the difference is, you're killing wolves at the very start in Elven Forest. On the third, you kill the third wolf. The NPC who sent you to do the quest can then talk to you because you just killed the third wolf. So it makes it a more interactive, engaging experience. Even, some really cool custom triggers, like one where, when you're sent way over to the west of Elwyn to sort of check out what's going on near the bridge, the Murlocs and stuff.
Or the east, yeah.
Yeah, the east even, yeah. And it's all, it's all tied up in this conspiracy. The thing is, most people, they didn't know about, the Collector and the whole Defias Brotherhood scheme because it wasn't really told that well in Elwyn Forest. So we were able to humongously double down on that, make an Elwyn Forest that honestly I thought kind of stood toe to toe with Suramar. It was fucking great. And I say that I didn't do the writing. I'm not a writer. That was Thomas. So I'm allowed to say the writing was great when I didn't do it. It was fucking awesome, and it was allowable by the official add-on policy. Now, our plan was obviously we wanted to basically support the project via Patreon, obviously with Patreon in no way being required, for access to any of the content, and also, no advertising of the Patreon or anything in-game. So we were completely by the book of the add-on policy and all of this stuff. It had seemed like... really, it shouldn't have been a problem. We then looked at other projects, including a big kickstarted StarCraft project that got the Blizzard, thumbs up, which was actually even doing the revoicing of characters, I believe, as well. Yeah. So this really weird situation where, you're allowed to do it with StarCraft. Seemingly, though, when we tried to do it for Warcraft, the lawyers got involved, and we basically got the message of, okay, look, we don't want to have to cease and desist you and get lawyers involved, but you have to stop this. So the thing that got us then, and the sort of knowledge I'd share with Insane Monster, is don't do anything that could be considered to be a re-performance. So don't modify a single thing about any of the characters, and it's sometimes the projects like this, and especially the Patreon grows, because one of the things we even wanted to do was basically build an in-house cinematics team and create zone cinematics that were, obviously not to the power of Blizzard quality, but, would feel like the most premium that you could get, which, for us would have been feasible right beside a decent enough animation, or a pretty good animation university. There's loads of animation studios and stuff around us, so we actually would have been able to do it. So, we kind of got all these fancy ideas of, oh my God, we go forward 2 years and suddenly we have this absolutely the most incredible mod ever. And that technically does follow all of the add-on policy. But it's, the second you say anything that could make a lawyer think you are going to do a re-performance of a character or change anything up, you could start to have issues. I'd say with the extra compounding factor being the Patreon. Now, you are totally allowed to have a Patreon to support development work. I believe you just can't have anything in the game that, pimps the Patreon. So it's a funky situation. It's why I'm happy enough to be like, hey, Insane Monster's doing some really, really cool work. And from what I understand, this project in its current scope is under 0 chance.
Well,
Matt, you're making a funny expression. Don't do this to me.
Do you remember
Don't do this
the
to me,
update
Matt.
to the custom game acceptable use policy that sparked interest around Warcraft 3 Re-Reforged or
Yes.
Reforged?
Yeah,
And
of
everyone was thinking, oh, well, you want to avoid a Dota situation again, don't you? Well, technically, custom games are and shall remain the sole and exclusive property of Blizzard. Without limiting the foregoing, you hereby assign to Blizzard all of your rights, title, and interest in and to all custom games, including but not limited to any copyrights in the content of any custom games. So there is a decent chance that they have the legal authority, if this gets big, to do a Nintendo and just go, this is ours because you're making it in our thing. We don't want you to monetize it. No. That's a possibility. As to whether that will happen now, that's up to, thing, but
Yeah.
they definitely tightened the screws on what it means to work in the world editor and work on all of this stuff with them by design, because they didn't want anything to happen. So I think even following all those rules, I still think there is possibility for Blizzard to step in and go, no, we don't want this because you're showing us up. But that would be an awful, awful look for Blizzard.
Yeah. So, like, what's provided on the Patreon then is basic access to Discord, general support, Patreon shout on all the project's pages and videos, periodic reports through dev diaries, design insights through Hack and Plan. Hack and Plan's project management software, more more aligned towards games. Now, here's the bit: beta access to not yet finished maps. That could get in trouble.
Yep, charging for access to world editor content.
Yeah. So, insane. Like you're probably going to get way more, way more, notoriety or whatever, and you totally deserve it because you are doing incredible work and we respect it tremendously. The one thing that could get you here is this, and this is one of the things we ended up, doing a thought for us, like, okay, for our add-on project, which obviously got shot down by Blizzard lawyers. It got shut down by the threat of Blizzard lawyers that, obviously it would have happened. Mm-hmm. This is the one thing that could really get you. So I'd totally drop that. Now that's really hard because obviously game development costs money. So the only thing we can say is, here's the Patreon. If you want to directly support the development of this Patreon is the place to do that. I would implore either getting express written permission from Blizzard Entertainment in a way that is serious about this bit, or dropping it, because this totally is the rough bit. Also, perhaps designing your own Easter egg.
Oh yeah.
I feel like that could probably squeeze by, but technically you could be, technically that is monetizing world generator, or whatever map creator content,
world editor content.
I know this fucking sucks. I'm also doing this as if I'm talking directly to Insane Monster, which I'm not. Hello.
Hello, viewer.
Yeah, but I really want this project to exist, because the fans deserve this. And you know what? I'd at least hope that when Microsoft sees this, because Microsoft, if we think about their treatment of the Halo modding scene, definitely. I actually don't know where that went, but I know at least I shall maybe follow up on that. But at least initially,
same place Halo went,
they were quite open. Yeah. They were supportive of the modding community and stuff like that. So I'd hope that a Microsoft-owned Blizzard would be a little bit kinder about this sort of thing. But overall, that's the situation there.
Indeed.
We'll see. I think that's really, that's mostly it.
Yeah, without having played it yet, there's not much else to say. Just this is really cool, and I think it goes to show that there's a lot of potential in the engine, a lot of potential in what could be done, and it's just frustrating, as it is with every time a mod appears or every time custom levels appear, and they're substantially better than content we've got. You go, well, this is where I guess game project management and product management starts to fail the actual end user.
Yeah, and actually from his 2021 interview with Ars Technica, there's a great thing that illustrates your example. How he expressed his surprise and dismay discovering how much proper lip sync was actually there for the cast of characters.
Oh yeah.
It shows that there was all that work done, but obviously through project management failures, none of it actually reaches the game that we buy. So there you go. Right. Overall, Insane Monster, you rock. Best of luck. Watch out for the lawyers, and hopefully enough support can be mustered to make this a viable thing for you to do. Indeed. So awesome work. Check this out on Warcraft 3 Reforged if you didn't refund it. And the funky thing, this is going to sell some copies of Warcraft 3 Reforged, which funny wee situation. I actually don't even remember if I own it or not. Who knows?
I don't, because I don't own it because I refunded it. Yeah. I played it for a bit, and then for whatever purposes we needed for footage, and then I refunded it. Like this is awful. I don't want this. I don't want to play any of the Reforged stuff. I'll just keep the fact that I own Warcraft 3, the original, safe and sound. That's it. And now I'm like, I have to buy it again to play this because it's only supported with the Reforged visuals, not the classic stuff. So that's basically going to definitely be a sale for Reforged, but nothing to do with Blizzard.
Yeah, and I mean, hey, how many sales of Skyrim are basically down to,
Oh yeah,
you know, you don't have to play the mostly baked thing that released. You can play the thing with all the bells and whistles with mods. Well, that's probably lots of Skyrim support. Anyway,
absolutely.
So that is it for today's video. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I mean, certainly any time that we can shine a spotlight on the really good shit that's going on, we want to do that. So, see you all later, and I have nothing else to say. I have no other outro to do.
And maybe enjoy Warcraft 3 Reforged, something I never thought I'd have said.